Okay, guys, I have a question because this has happened to me multiple times.
All right, I'll be more than happy to answer it, but just to be clear, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Okay?
Okay, so start talking to a guy and he says all these really nice things. And then after months, it's like they wake up one morning and they're like, changed my mind. And they just kind of quit talking. And you're like, what just happened? I have no idea. Like, what is wrong with me? Does this happen to everybody? I don't know. I'm totally confused, but I don't want to do this anymore. It sucks. I'm done. Like, done. Like, put me out the pasture. I'm done.
All right, let's address it. And let me start off by saying I mean no ill will. I'm just trying to help you out and answer your question. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you, even though, as I said in the beginning, it's not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. Now, we really don't have a lot of context to work with, but I feel pretty comfortable in saying one of two things is going on here. And both of them are the common mistakes that today's modern women make when dating. So you're not alone in this. In fact, you're the norm. The first mistake? Well, it's chasing the chads. Chasing those super hot guys that fit in the top 5, 10, or 15%. The ones every woman wants, but only a few can get. At least in long-term relationships, that is. Now, those chads, well, they know how to play the game. They're going to tell you what you want to hear so they can string you along and get a little something something as they do. But when that gets old or boring or they find somebody else to go after, they're going to toss you aside, stop talking to you, and just move on. So that's one possibility. The other possibility, and the one that might be a little bit more painful to hear, is that guys are figuring out after a while, you're not bringing anything to the table that they're looking for. You see, most women think that men want the very same things they do. Things like a good job, a good career, a house, a home, wealth, all those things that women list time and again. But none of those things matter in the least to men. We couldn't care less what your career is or job title, how much money you make, or how much you have sitting in the bank. What we're looking for is things like respect, acknowledgement, honesty, and the big one, peace. Something very few women make the slightest effort at giving or even acknowledging that it exists. And guys, for good or bad, will be patient and look and see if you're going to offer that to him. They'll even put up with your outrageous demands and expectations for a little while to see if you'll offer him that peace. And it may take a few weeks or months for them to figure it out. But once they do, if they're not going to get anything out of the relationship, they're going to walk and never look back. And that is something that is happening more and more. Men are done playing games. They're done with the one-sided relationships. But ladies, you haven't caught on to that fact. You're still playing the game by the old rules, which is why you're ending up the way you are. So my honest, genuine advice to you is, first of all, don't listen to your girlfriends about what might be going on. Because more often than not, in fact, 99% of the time, they're completely wrong and they're going to give you bad information. Next, there must be men in your life, somewhere in your circle. Sit down and talk to them. Explain to them in detail what's going on and ask them for their advice. But here's the key part. You then need to listen to it, not with emotion, but with an analytical mind. Because more often than not, women hear things and react to them emotionally, especially if it's something painful to hear, like this video, instead of realizing it for what it is. Information to be used, analyzed, and which can then allow you to make changes for the better. And that perhaps is the most important thing of all. You need to accept that the problem, the common denominator with all those men that have walked away from you, is you. Don't do what most women do, which is find a way to blame all the men. Instead, take accountability and responsibility and try and figure out what it is you're doing that's turning men off. If it's chasing the chads, stop chasing them. Stop rejecting the good guys. And if it is the good guys, genuinely try and find out what you are not offering to them so that you then can offer it to them and hopefully they won't walk away. I don't know if you'll listen to it. Most women don't, but there it is. There's the answer to your question. Hopefully it helps.